Hey y'all, welcome back to the Europats. I'm Matt, this is my wife Diane.
And today we are taking a deep dive into Fier, Albania. This is a working city in southwestern Albania that doesn't show up on most retirement wish lists. It's not coastal, it's not flashy, and it definitely is not built around expats.
So the question is Fier simply affordable or is it actually too local for Americans like us to retire there?
We're breaking down the cost of living, housing, the weather, healthcare, safety, transportation, and the bigger geopolitical picture so that you can decide along with us.
So, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, we're Matt and Diane. We're a U.S. couple planning to retire in France in 2030. But we found a way to start that journey 3 years earlier by starting in Albania. So we're taking our time, digging into each place, and learning what life there is really like. Come with us.
So let's start with where Fier actually is and why it even caught our attention. And I already know some of you are thinking, but it's not coastal. And you're right, it's not. There are no dramatic drone shots of turquoise water here. Fier is a working city in southwestern Albania. It sits in what's called the Mazeke Plain, which is basically agricultural land. It is flat, productive, and very local. What made us curious about Fier isn't that it looks glamorous, because it doesn't. It's that sometimes the cities that don't scream retirement dream are the ones that actually make the financial sense. And what surprised me is what's nearby. You're about 15 minutes from Apollonia, which is an ancient Greek and Roman city that is over 2,000 years old. It's even on UNESCO's tentative World Heritage list. So you've got practical daily life sitting right next to serious history. You know, this sounds with my mouth. What was that? What was that? What are these sounds coming out of my mouth?
And the contrast is what makes Fier interesting. You could live somewhere that feels very normal with grocery stores, apartment blocks, cafes, and then spend your afternoons walking ancient ruins. That's a pretty unique combination. But let's talk about what everybody actually wants to know. Okay, what about cost? We pulled data from Numbeo for cost of living, and quick transparency, Numbeo is crowdsourced. And Fier doesn't have a massive contributor base, so we're testing these as a snapshot, not an absolute truth. Milk runs around 179 lek, bread about 90 lek, eggs roughly 338 lek, a basic restaurant meal is about 1,000 lek, a dinner for two in a mid-ranged restaurant is around 3,000 lek, and a cappuccino, that's going to run you about 175 lek. Using today's exchange rate, roughly $1, $1 equals about 81 lek. Milk comes out a little over $2, eggs around $4, and bread about $1. Utilities for an apartment around 900 square feet look to be in the range of about 10,000 to 11,000 lek monthly. Internet is about 1,000 lek. Compared to most US cities, especially where we are, that's noticeably lower.
Very much so. Like a lot lower.
Yeah, because we just paid what?
$600 for
our electric bill.
God.
And this is a brand new house.
And it's not big.
Nope.
But groceries aren't what determine whether you can retire somewhere. You can save $5 at the market and still be upside down if the rent isn't manageable. So let's talk about the real lever. According to Numbeo, a one-bedroom apartment in the city center runs about 18,000 lek per month. Outside of the center, closer to 12,000 lek. That translates roughly to $150 to $220 a month. And when we checked actual Albanian property sites, rentals looked more like 200 euros to 450 euros, depending on the condition and the neighborhood. And condition matters here. This isn't a polished Western market. Renovations vary. Plumbing and electrical upgrades vary. Paperwork absolutely needs to be verified carefully. Buying prices we saw ranged roughly from 43,000 euros up past 100,000 euros, depending on size and location. So yes, it is affordable here, but affordable with homework.
Now, it's not a click and move in. It's inspect and verify. Now, comfort, because cheap doesn't help you if you're miserable half of the year. Using WeatherSpark and climate data, January averages around 54 degrees Fahrenheit for highs, and that's about 12 degrees Celsius. And lows, they are about 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. July averages around 87 degrees Fahrenheit for highs, and that is about 31 degrees Celsius. And lows around 67 degrees Fahrenheit or 19 degrees Celsius. So winters are mild compared to much of the U.S.
Summers are warm, especially inland. Air conditioning matters more than snow shovels. Please factor in the humidity if you are considering moving to Fier. It's not extreme, it's just warm Mediterranean inland weather. And for context, 2025 did show what the upper end can actually look like. During a major summer heat wave in mid-August 2025, lowland areas across Albania recorded temperatures well above 40 degrees Celsius, which is about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, with nearby inland stations reaching as high as 43.6 degrees Celsius, which is 110.5 degrees Fahrenheit. No, thank you. Can't want it.
That's what we get here is 110.
Yeah, so Fier, it sits in a similar lowland terrain, so it would have experienced that same intense heat pattern during that period. I can't want it. No, just no.
Yeah, just done with heat like that.
You know, we talked about on the live earlier that people start getting naked around here this time of year because of the heat. And,
I don't want to be looking at that over there.
The coldest modeled nights in January can dip into the upper 30s degrees Fahrenheit, around 37 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 3 degrees Celsius during seasonal cold snaps. Those were hard words. During seasonal cold snaps.
That's where you
red leather, yellow leather. So, while the averages are mild, 2025 showed that summers can spike into serious heat territory and winters can dip just enough to remind you that it's still continental Europe. So now, let's shift to something retirees always ask about.
And what that would be. The U.S. State Department lists Albania as a level 2. Exercise increased caution primarily due to crime.
City-level perception data from Numbeo suggests low violent crime concerns in Fier. And again, that's perception-based data.
Not our thoughts.
Not Europat's data. Stop coming for us! Rude. From what expats report, daily life feels normal. You use common sense. You don't flash cash. It's not high alert living.
Yeah, it's not a zero risk environment, but it's not chaotic either. It feels like a functioning city. So now let's talk about healthcare. Fier has the Memorial Regional Hospital that opened up in 2021. It's considered one of the more modern regional facilities in Albania.
And for specialists, many expats still travel to Tirana. Language barriers exist. Private clinics are often preferred. But you're not in a medical desert here, and that is important. Now, let's talk logistics.
Local bus tickets run around 70 LEK. A taxi starts around 200 LEK. And gas, that's about 160 LEK per liter.
A bus to Tirana takes roughly 2 hours. Barat, about an hour and a half. And schedules can be flexible. They're on their own time frame. The people that drive the buses. I don't think there's a set schedule.
And now, just so you all have it clear, the numbers we're giving are estimates, approximates, not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Could be more, could be less.
Could be none at all. I'm just kidding. We couldn't get that far. Why did I just get tickled? Why?
Because I'm sitting next to you.
Yep.
They're riding their motorcycles and four-wheelers.
Y'all done? Too Fast, Too Furious. Tokyo Drift. Stupid. So at the end of the day, owning a car here would absolutely make your life easier.
Because it feels like a place where a car would just give you the freedom. Now, socially, this is where fear becomes a personality decision. Fier is not a major expat hub. Larger foreign communities tend to be in Tirana, Durrës, Vlora, or Saranda. Fier feels Albanian. Fewer English menus, fewer built-in expat circles, and more immersion.
Which for some people is exactly the appeal. And the food helps with that immersion.
Food.
So what is there to do in Fier? You've got Apollonia nearby. You've got the Ardenica Monastery nearby. And you have local festivals in the warmer months. And food-wise, Albania does comfort food very well.
Food.
You have the typical Burek, Tavikoze, and Fergese. And Fier sits in an agricultural region, so produce is abundant and fresh. You will find a favorite bakery here.
I can't wait to get all the fresh over there without the ingredients.
Yep.
Albania is actively negotiating EU membership. Progress is happening, but full membership isn't immediate. There are national challenges. You've got corruption, economic transition, and some industrial history in parts of the region.
Now, that doesn't mean to avoid it. It means research carefully. Spend some time there, ask questions, and don't rush big decisions. Fier is affordable. It's practical. It's local, and it is not flashy.
And it does feel like a base city, so it could be just a place to live while exploring southern Albania.
So the real question is, would you live here? Or would you rather live coastal and visit? We are going to go through Albania, city by city. And you never know, even outside of Albania, because we are the Europats. But what do we think of Fier? Do you think this is a place that you could live?
To retire to, no. I'll be honest, no.
Yeah.
It might be a place to go visit probably in the I'd say the spring or summer, spring or fall, but not to be there during the summertime. No.
Yeah, the weather is a huge turnoff for us.
And plus, it's not around waters.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, honestly, it's not as appealing as some of the other places that we're looking at.
No, it's a cute town, but I just don't. Now, again, never say never. We've never been there in person, so I'm sure we'll make that decision when we get over there in person. But
yeah, because there's people out there that have made videos on Fier, and
Love it.
They like it,
Mhm.
you know, and I just, our own personal choices would probably be no.
Yeah. I mean, I have our top 2 places in my head, so it's gonna be pretty hard to get me away from those 2. Um, there's actually 4 I would consider, 4 places that I would consider,
Yes.
but the top 2 still, to me, are gonna be Pokédex and Durrus. Yeah. And again, we were talking in the live about this today, and somebody made the comment that, about Durrus being so close to Italy. Say less. I'm there. I mean, you had me in Italy.
Well,
I want to be able to, and again, this video is not about Durrus. We've already done one on Durrus. However, close to Tirana for the airport and anything serious that we might need, and a boat ride away. I mean, logistically, it's perfection.
logistically.
But it gets hot.
And that's where Pokédex comes in.
I'm curious to see how this is going to work for us because, he's pretty set on Pokédex and I'm pretty set on Durrus. So that'll be curious to see how that plays out.
See, one thing that'll probably help is the summers and the tourism.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot hotter over there in Durrus,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be a lot crowded.
A lot more crowded than
A lot more
Pokédex.
crowded than Pokédex.
But who's to say we couldn't get a place in Pokédex for a couple months?
No, I'm not saying we couldn't,
I'm just saying.
but you can live in one, visit the other. I mean, it could go either way. We could live in Pokédex, visit Durrus, live in Durrus, visit Pokédex.
I go for the second.
Yes, she does.
But you never know. We never say never anymore.
No, we're seriously looking at it, and it's just going to really take us to have to get over there and just start looking and seeing what really works for us.
Yeah. And I can tell you that in the videos that we've seen about Fier, and again, that's all we have to go by right now, or videos and walkthroughs. It doesn't give me the fuzzies. It doesn't jump out as, I mean, it's fine.
But
it's fine.
Yeah, there might be people out there that love that area like that. Like I said, this is just a personal decision of ours, and I don't think it would be a place for us to live. Maybe to visit, yes, definitely, but not to live.
Yeah. And y'all, if this breakdown helped you in any way, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of when our next video will be out, which will be next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central. We also have a live every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central.
Now, one thing about our lives, I've said this before, and I will keep saying it over and over. We have some great people come on our lives. We love how everybody interacts.
Mm-hmm.
It's everybody from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we love them.
Yeah, we really do. And Matt sang today.
I sang to 3 different people today.
He did.
Happy birthday.
He did. And Sexy Matt and Rock Matt. So y'all missed out if y'all weren't on the live today. And so you never know. You never know what's going to come out of our mouth or what's going to happen in a live. You just never know. So you should definitely show up. And if you would like to support our channel more, the link to our Patreon is below. Again, that's free. You don't charge for that, but there is a lot of good information there and some deep dive research notes. And so there's a lot of good stuff there. You can also buy us a coffee on our Buy Me a Coffee page if you feel so led. This also helps us out tremendously. If you would like to join our channel, you can click the link below. Channel membership gives you perks like getting to see our videos before anybody else does. And also, we have merch. So if you would like to get any of our merch, please visit our merch store. We recently changed our logo, and so there is some new stuff on there if y'all are interested in that. So we want to thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you, and we appreciate you joining us each week and commenting and liking our videos. It really does help the algorithm so that we can help other people who might be interested in planning their retirement in Europe as well. And we do try to answer every single comment, even the hateful ones. That's my job.
Hers, not mine.
And I don't mind it at all.
I'm nicer.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. So you guys have a great week, and we will see you next Saturday to deep and dive. To what? To what?
To deep and dive.
To deep dive, words are hard, into another Albanian city. See y'all later. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.